Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Redshirt Room. Today, we are going down with our final episode here, breaking down the new era of college sports with eligibility, NIL, and the transfer portal. Joining us for the first time are some men behind the camera the last couple episodes.
My name is Henry Petit.
And I'm Miguel Caballero.
So, getting right into it, what have you guys learned the most between, some of the interviews that we've done and the athletes we've talked to?
I think what I've learned the most is older players having extra eligibility takes away spots from younger players. Not even like on the starting, but like the entire roster having to go to like a D2 or D3 just because there's older players that are on the team.
Yeah, no, I remember experiencing that with some of the baseball players that I got to talk to. They said that they would redshirt a year and then transfer to like a junior college or something because they needed to get playing time instead of sitting behind someone who's 25, on their 7th year of college.
Yeah, we can after having the Mason Love interview, we kind of saw that and how he waited a year or two to make, like he said, a good bit of money and actually see the field and get his playing time.
Yeah. Going back to that, Mason Love, obviously a football player here at South Carolina, and we mentioned, the SEC is kind of the premier football league, but just in general, it seems like football is the premier sport for NIL. We hear these like insane numbers from guys at like Texas or Oklahoma, or things like that.
Yeah, it's definitely. I feel like there's guys who like quarterbacks for big SEC schools make more than like a baseball team at like a Big Ten school, like the entire roster together, or even volleyball or swimming, stuff like that, which is crazy because they're all Division I athletes getting the same education, but the guys getting like triple the amount of money.
Yeah.
Some scenarios it's almost cheaper. You make more money staying in college for another year than it is to go to the draft and kind of risk even making a team if you don't make the, was it 56-man roster, however many players they take up, per year.
Yeah, we just saw this, obviously we didn't get the chance to interview the guy, but Dante Moore over at Oregon, he decided to forego the draft because he was like, I don't want to go play for the Jets. And he's like, I can still make just as much money.
Yeah. Especially in like the later rounds, like the running back of South Carolina last year, Fajon, was like projected 7th round pick, or if he got his like 7th year of eligibility, he was coming back and he was going to make like couple $100,000 guaranteed, and get to get more education. So it makes sense, but it's also just like crazy. Like guys are 24 in college. Like we're all 22. You're all 22.
Yep.
Going like graduating. Like imagine if you were here another 2-3 years. Like just wild.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a good point. And then I think talking when we had Morgan Downs on, beach volleyball player, a much smaller program, she told us that there is obviously still money in the sport, but not as much. And it kind of just makes me think about some other sports like maybe women's basketball or like we mentioned earlier, like swim and dive, like how they generate so much money. Like, we get to experience this at almost like the top level every year. South Carolina women's basketball is like the number one team, and they're like, we signed some crazy people for good chunk of money.
Yeah, it's good, especially for women's basketball. It's like all McDonald's All-Americans are getting a couple $100,000. Some of those players are bigger than the entire budget for like other schools.
Yeah,
even like Power 5, which is.
I also feel like a lot of like volleyball, I think what they get back, it might not be as much money, but they're like they were saying, they probably make more in like their nice shoe brands that they get to wear like every game or like even like everyday attire they probably get for free that like they don't have to spend their own money on. Kind of save their money like that on top of any other money they may be getting. Obviously it's not millions like some of these college athletes, college football players are making that we see nowadays, but they're definitely still making some type of endorsements and on top of obviously getting their shoes and things like that covered for them.
Yeah, like I said, through some of the college baseball connections that I have, unfortunately we're not able to get them from the mic, but I did get a few quotes from them. They were saying, at these smaller schools, they deal a lot with money pools where the budget is equally spread out, which it doesn't sound as appealing as these guys who are getting $100,000 to $1 million contracts. But they talk about it's so easy being in school, not having to worry about tuition and having about probably $10,000 to play with for an entire year. You know, I mean, I know my life would be a lot easier with 10 grand.
That sounds pretty nice right now. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Exactly.
Especially like, it just got me thinking on the quarterback from Washington who entered the portal, but he signed a big contract before he did, committed to go play LSU, and then they're like, no, you can't. He's coming back to play for Washington.
Yeah,
like, what is the dynamic, especially quarterback? You're leaving, you're coming back, and it's like, I mean, I guess they all get it because it's all like money and it's not, but it's just crazy.
No, it's definitely been like, you know, that was the concern when NIL was brought up, was that it was like, it's going to turn the college into more of a business than it is. And, you know, in fairness, I think that college sports has already been a business. It's just now much more out in the open. And I think the lack of parameters around what you can do and say to players, there needs to be a little more structure.
Definitely.
I think another whole different conversation is the fact that you can play for your former teams can be 2 G League NBA teams. Like I forgot who it was, but like we said that one class, like he played for the Phoenix Suns and then the Knicks, and now he's going back to college to play again. Like you're just taking several steps back in life, and then like you're gonna get a whole nother shot at a bunch of money that like you already had the opportunity to make.
It's taking a scholarship spot away from a kid coming out of high
Exactly.
school. Like there's guys, I kind of follow college basketball recruiting. There's guys who are 4 stars in college basketball who are committing to non-Power 5 schools, not because they're like getting a bunch of money or anything. It's because they're the only schools offering them.
Yeah.
Like Rick Pitino, St. John's will take maybe 1 freshman a year. Other than that, it's all transfers, or if it is a freshman, it's a guy from Europe who's like 24 years old.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he's been playing pro ball for like 6 years.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is definitely a crazy world. So I guess to kind of just closing out, what would be like the one parameter or like restriction, something to get a little more balance in college sports? Like, what do you think you would want to see as like a fan?
As a fan, I think I've seen the thing where it's like a limit on transfers. Like you get to transfer once, no punishment, nothing. You transfer again, you should have to sit out a year, like how it used to be, where if you like go to a different school, you have to sit out. You don't lose a year of eligibility, but at least keeps it like a little on track. Because like if you're getting no playing time somewhere and you want to transfer, you don't like the coach, whatever. But after that, like guys transferring 4 times in 4 years kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, and then along with, I feel like you should kind of, like NIL is great, money's great, but like kind of take a step back in the amount of money that we're giving some of these players. I think it's kind of seen that they're just being more like reckless with their outside lives too. Like prime team, I feel like I see every other day is Georgia. They have another player arrested every other day, and like a lot of it because they have like tons of money. They're just driving these like supercars that are going almost 200 miles an hour, like doing all this crazy stuff. Like if we take a step like back on that, they'd definitely be more locked in on the field or the core whatever sport they're playing, and kind of with the NFL too. I feel like they don't really devote as much time and like effort into the game like we see NBA too nowadays. Like the money is just so insane that they're kind of careless of what they're doing.
Yeah. To me, I think the biggest thing that would need to happen that I think would help a lot would be treated like these professional sports and set a cap. I feel like, we talk about like these teams in Texas, whether it's Texas University or Texas Tech, they got this oil money coming in, these sponsors, and they can throw as many millions as they want to these players, And obviously South Carolina, SEC school still does great and is able to give players good money, but it's not on the same level. I feel like if you was like, okay, each year, you can put $50 million, but you got to spread that across all your sports. So however you want to spend that money is up to you, but like that's your cap or something like that would be allowed to put a little more parameters on it, and it would prevent like that constant transfer, those constant, guys trying to stay in college more because they can make just as much money, if not more, before going to the league.
I like that. Do you think they would do it like by like every conference has a certain like cap per, or would you do it like individual conferences can set their own like cap? If that makes sense.
I don't know. I think I would think it would probably just be like one set. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because like we said with those like smaller schools, it's like it gives them a chance to compete a little more. You get like one of the big ones is like college baseball. Is you see a lot of these guys at like schools that aren't that big in you know the other big three sports, and they're able to keep like generational talents because you know that's what they focus on.
Yeah, that's college baseball's sick too.
Yeah.
Like regionals favorite.
Oh,
Very underrated regional, super regionals baseball.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and listening along as we break down the new eras of college sports, and we'll see you.